Hello everybody, it is April 8th, 2008. It is about 3 o'clock in San Francisco. Okay, OSA people, if you're watching this, yes, it's hot today in San Francisco, so I have my shirt off, so screw off. But anyways, when I was a Scientologist, and how most people think, if not all Scientologists think when they're in Scientology, they are taught to be afraid of SPs. So when there are people like Tori out there, Arnie, myself, Bunker, Anonymous, and we're taught in Scientology, anybody that thinks critically of Scientology, opposes Scientology, disagrees or whatever, basically they're SPs. And so in Scientology policies, and Scientologists learn this of course, that the Scientologists all have to be very careful about being connected or associating with any PTS, potential trouble sources, because those people are connected to the SPs. And if you're connected to an SP, you can become an SP. It is clear policy that if you're around SPs, that the SPs will make the other people turn into PTS, and if you become PTS, those are the ones that end up doing all the harm to the world, and those are the ones that are going to end up in the institution, or they'll end up dying, stuff like that. So it's really scary for Scientologists in general to be around SPs. Now, when I was a Scientologist and I was heard about things about Scientology that were kind of bad, and possibility of something might be wrong and Scientology might have done something wrong, my automatic thinking from the indoctrination and brainwashing from Scientology was it's all false, it's all untrue, period. That's exactly how I thought of it, and I know that's how pretty much every other Scientologist thinks of it, because you want to believe so badly, and you're trained and brainwashed to believe that L. Ron Hubbard is the only true source to the entire universe. He has all the answers, he's man's best friend, all this kind of bullshit, and people believe it. Then you have the other side of the big terrified SPs, they're going to come get us, what are we going to do? And we have to be scared of the SPs and all this kind of stuff. And so we don't want to be on that side with the SPs. So we think, okay, automatically, if we think critical of Scientology, what's my overt? I'm thinking critical. Wait a second, either I haven't misunderstood about the situation, or if I don't, I might just be an SP. So it gets really scary when you're a Scientology, because then when you're a Scientologist, you're thinking, shit, I have to disconnect then. I will be disconnected from like Tori's whole family, from a lot of her family that were Scientologists, disconnected from her, like her husband for 20-something years, 28 years or whatever. Many other people that just got completely disconnected. You lose all your friends because all your friends are generally Scientologists and that kind of stuff. So it's very, very scary for a lot of Scientologists. Now, when I was in Scientology, of course I worked with OSA, and I was they called me a joker and degrader, because I wasn't a very serious person a lot of times. I joked around, I questioned people, and you're not supposed to do that as a Scientologist. So there's a policy called joker and degrader. That was me. Someone would be an OT, and I would say, hey, why don't you show me that you're OT, prove it to me, how many fingers am I holding behind my back? And when they can't figure out that I'm basically flipping them off, then I say, you're not OT, I get written up, stuff like that. So you're not supposed to be a joker and degrader and be critical of Scientology. And if you're joking a lot and doing things like I used to, you get written up all the time. You get reported on by whoever, like Nazism. It's crazy shit. And so I used to get written up as a joker and degrader constantly. It was really irritating and frustrating. But the thing is, when I was in Scientology and I heard about the Lisa McPherson thing and other weird things that happened, of course, I was kind of being a brainwashed retard at the same time, thinking, oh, I must listen to the DSA, Director of Office of Spares, OSA man, Jeff Kuros. He says it's all lies. Well, of course, it wasn't. But, I had enough sense in the back of my mind to think, is it really lies? And at least I had the ability, to some degree, to question it. A lot of Scientologists, they do the same thing, but they're afraid to voice it at all. Or they're afraid to be known that they're talking to somebody. Me, on the other hand, I had that in me, that I still wanted to question things. I was more ballsy, and that's why I got in trouble. So please, Scientologists, you gotta realize, we're not all these horrible SPs because we disagree with Scientology. I don't disagree with everything in Scientology 1000%. L. Ron Hubbard told a lot of good information in the very beginning that he obviously did not make, that he took from somebody that had some brains. The psycho L. Ron Hubbard never made those things up in the beginning. There's a lot of things in the beginning of Scientology that are basic understanding and good knowledge that anybody can figure out if they're around someone who has common sense. It's when you go up the lines of Scientology when you start to realize that shit, there's something fucking wrong here. And so that's the difference here, is that Scientologists, you need to come talk to me, come talk to Tori, come talk to Arnie. I don't disagree with everything in Scientology, but most of the stuff that L. Ron Hubbard actually came up with was a bunch of bullshit. That's just a goddamn fact. That's just the way it is. Now there's other things that he stole from psychiatrists, psychologists and stuff, and you know, it's basically like therapy, except it costs a lot more money in Scientology, and you're also hooked up to the lie detector e-meter, which they will use against you, which you never realize this when you're in Scientology, but when you get out, they'll use that shit against you, blackmail you, and screw you over. And if they don't have dirt on you per policy, they'll make it up, like Jeff taught me. So everyone, Scientology, Scientologist, you need to realize, come talk to me. Have an open mind. I know you're not allowed to have that open mind because you'll get declared a suppressive type H or J or whatever it is. But you know, you guys got to be able to think for yourselves. Don't be such robots. Scientologists, there are a lot of nice Scientologists. When I was in Scientology, there were a fair amount of people that were actually meant well, that were kind, nice people. Then you had the other percentage that were control freaks. Ah, yes! And they want to be the master. Well, screw those people. Those people I got and had a lot of problems with all the time, constantly, and I kept getting in trouble for it. Then you had the nice people. But the thing is, it's deceiving. Scientology really is a cult, and when you get to a certain point, you start to realize that by the time you get there, you're already so locked in. Your whole life and years have been snatched from you. You've been indoctrinated and brainwashed with these scary phobias of psychiatry and SPs that it's really hard to get out. And so you guys need to realize this, Scientologists, and realize this, everybody else, that you really, really, really need to look at both sides. Tori says it all the time. Don't believe me, look at both sides. Well, what I say is, hey, don't believe what I have to see. Check it out for yourself. And then you make up your own mind. So, there you go, everybody. Scientologists, come talk to me. I'll see you all on April 12th, 2008 on 701 Montgomery Street. And we're going to have a blast. Anonymous, thank you so much for supporting all of us critics and other people and making it so much easier for the Scientologists to leave, because now they have like a little army, they feel like, to, you know, back them up, which you guys are. You guys are great. The ones that I met, you guys are cool. I don't know. That's my opinion. So, I'll see you guys later. It is now Tuesday, and I will see you on Saturday at 11 o'clock. Alright, Jeff, I'll see you soon, you psychopath. Have a good time, everyone. See you later.